What's up everybody, it's Robin Gaming here. So 2016 is looking to be a great year for gaming, and as you have seen probably by now by the title, today I will be talking about 4 games that could end up being disappointing or overhyped in my opinion. And before I get into it and before people start getting mad because I'm mentioning one of their most anticipated games or something, don't get me wrong, I want these games to be awesome. I really hope they're going to be, and I'm not ruling it out that they're going to be by any, stretch of the imagination. Like, these games have every chance to be great. At the same time, that is what this video is pretty much about. It's the 4 games that I feel have the biggest chance of actually being a disappointment or being overhyped in a way. So, I don't want them to be that. I'm gonna be playing them once they come out, and we'll see then, of course, if they are going to be great or not. But yeah, I'd say let's just get into it, okay? Let's just start mentioning these 4 games and pretty much talking about them. So the very first that I wrote down is, and I think this is a pretty safe bet that many people have been talking about, The Division. The beta is going to be starting very soon. Some people already got the chance to play the alpha, and from everything I've heard so far, it's good. It's a Ubisoft game. They've always made good games for the past couple of years, just not very impressive or something. And I feel like many people are also drawing lines between The Division and something like Destiny, where it really feels like this game that you're going to be grinding a lot and looting a lot, and basically, you can keep playing it for a very long time, but at the same time, of course, there's this graphical downgrade that we've seen, and the game already got announced about, I think, 3 years ago at E3. Yeah, pretty crazy. 2013, I think it was. So it's been a pretty long time, and when it was, people were so impressed by it, and they thought it was going to be the next big, great thing, just like with Watch Dogs. And you saw with Watch Dogs that although the game was good, and I myself also think that Watch Dogs was, undeservingly hated on. To be honest, I thought Watch Dogs was great. I feel The Division is going to be a very similar situation where the game is going to be good, it's just not going to live up to those expectations that people had back when it was announced in 2013. And so, yeah, The Division, the very first game on my list. The next one is going to be one of the biggest PS4 exclusives coming up in 2016, and I put this on number 3 in my top 10, most anticipated games for next year, and that is The Last Guardian. And yeah, as well with this one, I really want it to be great, and I think it has a big chance of being great because they've worked on it so long. But that's also what is so troublesome, right? This game has been in development for like 6 years, 6 years plus, I think, and so there's been a lot of struggles, and things didn't go well at the studio when they were making it. So yeah, I also heard from many people that they didn't find the E3 demo that impressive, and I get that because it wasn't this giant epic set piece or something. It was pretty standard stuff, but I do feel like the game really has a chance of telling this awesome story between that small little character and the giant creature, right? So this game, I'm really mixed about it. I hope it's going to be great. I feel like it probably will be, but at the same time, it also has that chance because it's been in development for for so long that it won't live up to people's expectations anymore, and that would be a real shame. So the next one is going to be just like the first one, a Ubisoft game, and this is the final one I will talk about, and that is Far Cry Primal. Now, with Far Cry Primal, from the gameplay we've seen so far, it looks good, it looks like a new Far Cry game, but that's exactly why I'm not super impressed by it. I feel like Ubisoft is starting to treat Far Cry in the same way they did with Assassin's Creed, where you saw with Assassin's Creed that although the original couple of games were really good, and every game that followed pretty much also has been good, it's just that people started to get so tired of the series, and me included there, where Syndicate came out last year. I feel like a really small percentage actually bought that of the dedicated fan base even, and the words that we did hear from it was that it was apparently really good. Actually, it was a really nice entry into the Assassin's Creed series, but just because Ubisoft kept coming with game after game after game, people just didn't want to buy these anymore, right? And with Far Cry Primal, yeah, it's cool that they're bringing it to this new setting, this primal setting, but at the same time, it's been only a year since Far Cry 4 came out, and I don't want to be burned out on this franchise so easily. So yeah, Far Cry Primal is the 3rd out of the list here, and the 1 to final one, I guess, in total that I will be talking about. So then we get to the final game on the list, and if this was a sort of like top 4 instead of just 4 random games in a random order, this probably would have been my number 1. I have to be very honest about that. And I will once again say, by all means, I want this game to be awesome, and I'm looking forward to it quite a bit. I hope it's going to live up to all the expectations, but my number 1 has to be hands down No Man's Sky. And you know, the reason I would put this as my number one game that could be disappointing or overhyped is simply for the fact that the developers have been talking about, you know, about this game for like two years already, 2+ years I think, and they've been really excited about it, and so have all the people that have watched all this stuff, right? The game is looking incredible, and whenever you see the developer talk about it, they always bring up the fact that they have billions and billions of planets for you to explore, and they're having kind of like math, you know, generate every single planet in front of you, right? And so every time it's going to be a new experience. You're going to come on this new planet, everything is randomly generated. They haven't even explored everything because, yeah, it's all done randomly and you will never see the same place twice. That being said, graphically it also looks amazing. So, you know, in terms of presentation, purely visually, when you see that game, when you look at the graphics and people go like, wow, this looks amazing, I can't wait to explore these worlds, and I totally agree with that. But at the same time, what I'm so concerned about is that where the you know, the general I guess thing that the game is about, which is exploration, is what the developers thought about really well, but they forgot to make sort of like a game around it. And what I mean by that is that the gameplay by no means looks impressive right now, and they haven't even talked about it that much. They're saying there's a lot of systems in there, but they haven't really revealed much. And from what I saw, you know, I've seen these videos where they sort of like land on this random planet, right? And then you have this GTA style wanted level or something, and so you start shooting a random, you know, robot that's flying around in the world, and oh, people are gonna get mad, and your wanted level, you know, increases, and then you have more robots coming at you, flying in the air, you know. So instead of 1, you're gonna get 2 now. You're gonna get 3 now, you're gonna get 5 now, and so it pretty much keeps going like that until you eventually die. And so, you know, it's just that nothing about that game gameplay wise seems very impressive, seems very fun, and I myself want to really have a goal in the world. I want to have some kind of objective that I need to go for, and right now it's not looking like the game will offer that. And once again, I'm really hoping it's going to do that, and I hope that by the time the game comes out, it will prove to have plenty of gameplay, and there's always something to really go for, to really hunt for, and that it's not just, oh, go from this planet, you know, you explore it for 5 minutes and then go to the next planet and explore it for 5 minutes, and you see it has a different sort of setting and whatever. That's right now what it seems like to me, is that you'll initially be very blown away by the way the game looks and by just the pure, you know, visual stuff and exploring all these planets and stuff, but that's going to get tiresome after a couple of hours, and at that point the question is going to be, what do I do now? What's going to happen now? Is there some kind of gameplay goal, initiative or whatever that keeps me going, right? So yeah, as I said, No Man's Sky would for me personally be the number one game. I hope it's going to be awesome, but I have many questions right now about the game and if it's actually going to be fun. So with that being said, these are my 4 games that, you know, upcoming PS4 games that could end up being overhyped or disappointing. I of course want to know from you in the comments if there's any game you would add to the list or that you would actually you know, remove from the list, right? So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and then for now, thanks a lot for watching and hope to see you again next time.